In production system, the hardest problem is not just data loading. The real problem is to load the data appropriately. In real data world, source data can come late. Data can get corrupted. Also, raw data can need to be updated or that need to be deleted and things like that. There's multiple issues with those source data can happen in real data world. So the real question is how to keep my table correct without reloading everything. Right. So in this particular episode, we are going to cover that topics. In a modern data architecture, there is a four major pillar to help this issue. So we already covered the medallion architecture. We already covered the Delta Lake. What is those? And now in this episode, we are going to cover the autoloader and change data feed, change data capture. So when we get the new source file in S3 bucket or source file, it should our Databricks should automatically load those data. Not only that, it should take appropriate data to load appropriately. So in this particular episode, we are going to talk incremental load and CDC. So what are those? How does that work in Databricks? So that is what we are going to cover. So in summary, for incremental load, when you say the incremental load, that means load only new or changed data. We're not going to load everything. We're going to load only new or changed data. How that's possible. And CDC is another important topic, which is to detect and apply change, particularly for insert, update, and delete. In traditional situation, traditional ETL like SSIS, we used to run watermark, control table, lookup, conditional, skipped, etc. to do those incremental load and CDC. Right. However, in new data world, this process is much simpler and more scalable to build the data pattern. Again, in incremental load in left-hand side right here versus sense data capture on right-hand side. This is the highlighted topics right here. Incremental load is new row since the last load. Records update after the timestamp. So this is how we will implementing the incremental load versus CDC is explicitly track, insert, update, and delete from the source file. And that can happen incremental load in CDC in Databricks. So both incremental load and CDC usually through the merge based logic. It's not rocket science. It's very simple logic we'll implementing on Databricks, and Databricks will handle most of the part to do this incremental and load and CDC. One other item I wanted to cover here is again those merge activity. This merge based logic will be implemented on silver level. So bronze will be keeping as is. We are not going to implement this merge logic on bronze. We are not doing those merge on gold as well. So all those merge for incremental load and CDC will be happening on silver level. And the gold is basically once silver is updated, gold will rebuild automatically. The rebuild data. If you like to quickly compare how the CDC with this SSIS world, SQL world with the Databricks world for this particular, if you know the control table on SSIS, we have the same thing done from the Delta table. We don't need to create explicitly like a control table. The Delta table will cover those. In SSIS world, there is a lookup. Those lookup part will be done through the merge, a regular merge statement. So we don't have to do those lookups like we have been doing in SSIS. So merge will handle everything, a regular merge insert and Databricks. So sometimes we do the conditional split for those things. We can use SQL logic for this conditional split, so we can replace SSIS logic with the SQL logic and things like that. For complex recovery, like what that means is like if you want to reload or if you want to fix weak prior data, then what we usually do is in SSIS world, you have to restore previous backup, load that data, and then you have to reload incremental or all the rest of the load to fix those recovery. However, in Databricks world, it's easy process. There's something called the time travel. The time travel in a high overview we covered last video or previous video. Um, so with that being said, like Databricks world is much more simpler for those and this kind of activity. Let's take a look. CDC and incremental load in action in Databricks. So for that, the first thing what I will do is I'm going to upload one of my file to my S3 bucket. So I already have this bucket. So with that bucket, I have the order raw folder and archive folder. I will be uploading one of my file from my local directory, this order file. So it doesn't have it's just data. Let me show you quickly. So I will be uploading those file into this directory. So I just uploaded in my S3 bucket. Now gonna go to my catalog and then check if S3 there is any file on this S3 or not, right? So in this file, I have a location. I have this order file and archive file folder, and then if I just do this, I should be able to see this order.csv file. So I'm all set to begin with. So next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the bronze table to bring those data into bronze table. So this time I'm going to utilize the loan scheme catalog and DBO schema. This time we have a other older table. We didn't have the loan table or order table. So I already created all the script with the help of the Genie. So I'm going to run this script. Hopefully this run with no issue. So in first step, I'll be bringing those raw folder file, order raw file from this S3 location, select everything, including 3 other column, 2 runs, order runs. And then we also create the delta um, Parquet file, that location, order runs location, right? So I think this is something we already covered on previous video. So I just run this. Okay, that was completed. Now, if I go quickly and refresh this table, I should have that table on DBO. Order runs was created, and also I can see select star from that table. The data, I should be able to see the data, those data right here. And the next step is I can add more file in this location and reload this. We will do that later. But for now, what I'm going to do, since this is CDC, change data capture and incremental load, I'm going to enable this change data capture and that's a bronze table. So what that means is anything after we enable this change data capture, um, all of our DML operation, including insert, update, delete, or any table modification, it will be captured as a history, or even like data, we can query the history data through the change data capture, and then we will be merging, or we will be sending those incremental data only, change data only to the silver level. That is the main purpose, that why we are doing this, enabling this change data capture. But now I'm going to hit this change data capture. So it was completed. Now I will be creating the silver table. Uh, so right here, as of now, I have bronze only. So if I'm going to create the silver table, I also create the delta file for that table, silver table. And then what we are going to do, we are going to get all the data from order runs that where the price is more than $50. We can do other filtration, cleansing here, but for now, I just have only this filter where we are having this filter data into silver table. So I'm going to run that. This was completed. Let me see how many. Oh, this is no row. Actually, there is no row greater than 50. So let me see the data. Did I see the data? Price. One moment. Actually, there was data type issue on that price column, so I'm going to change that to the country. So let me see how many. I'm going to filter. I just want to filter by country. By US, there is. Let me see. I'm going to record the product that we built in US. There is 23 record. So I'm going to insert those 23 record in silver, not everything. So we have 100 record and Delta bronze, but we'll be doing. So what was happened here is that Parquet was already created. So I need to clean that Parquet off, and I should be able to rerun this again. Okay, I clear out the Parquet, which is the existing Parquet was there. I deleted the Parquet there and then recreated the Parquet again. So it was successfully completed. Now in my silver table, is just remember 23 record in my silver table versus 100 record in my bronze table. So in bronze, if we go back, there is a 100 record in bronze. We inserted just 23 record into the silver. Okay, that being said, what we're gonna do is I would like to, yeah, again, like for bronze, we have count 100 record. For silver, there is 23 record. So I wanted to, actually, I wanted to see the history of bronze, not the bronze, not the silver. So let me see what kind of history we have for bronze. I think there is only one insert statement happened is this point of time. One insert, and then also we enable the change data capture. Okay, so we inserted data and we enable change data capture for runs. Okay, this is good. So we enable the change data capture as well. Now, what I'm going to do is, since we enable the change data capture, I'm going to insert some record, additional record into runs. So I'm inserting these two record into this runs, right? Okay, those two records was inserted. I also want to add some update, make some changes. Just creating some transactions so we can verify those. I'm making some update on those brands table. So after enabling the change data capture, I have done insert and update. So inserted two data and updated one record. Now I can see the history, what the table history, the bronze table history. So describe history function. If I click that, describe history, I should have at least four river of history, right? So initially, the history number 1 or 0 was inserted. History number 1, it was change data capture was enabled, property change, and the other was we inserted some record was inserted. And then again, the next one was update. So this is what the change. This is how the change was made on this table. All right. So now, if I just want to, this is important thing right here. What I'm about to show you is I want to show you, if I want to show everything from that table, let me delete code this one. And if you want to show you everything, I should have 102 record on this table, right? Because I inserted 100 record previously, and then from the file, from my S2 bucket, and then 2 record through the SQL insert statement. So now I have 102 record, and I also updated one record. Now what I would like to show you is I want to see what was the latest change, right? After this, our CDC enable. So I'm gonna see, we enable the change data capture at number 2, table change version number 2. If I just do write to number 2 and then see, I should be able to see only those 4 changes. 2 record was inserted and some record was updated. Like here, so some of the record was inserted. These 2 record was inserted as after get this change data capture. So this is what the change data capture is. That is change was captured by this. So when we here the change data capture, we can see only change after we enable this change data capture. We can see the through the version. So this is version. Okay. With that being said, now what I want you to be careful is, I want to show you is like, I want to show you the more SQL statement. When I say the more SQL statement, if I go back my previous diagram, the merge is like a lookup, right? Lookup in in SSIS. We are doing if data already exists, then update. If no data is there, then insert and update and delete everything together. It's called merge. So same thing we are going to do this merge. This merge is already you are familiar. You already know the SQL. This merge you already pretty much familiar. Only different is the syntax wise. Sorry. I click somewhere there. Only in SQL there is merge only, but now merge into right here. And for using part, you are used to use source file only, right? But now what we can also do is we can do this version, not only the source file, but also the version of source file. So when I see if I just do a bronze table, if I merge a whole bronze table, I'll be merging, we already have the 50 records or 23 record in the silver table, and the whole bronze has 100 record. So I would be merging those 100 record into those 23 record again using these rules. However, there is a beauty of Databricks, a modern merge statement where we can do incremental load. So basically, we are capturing incremental data or change data only from here, and then we are merging those change data to the silver level, which is called incremental load. Basically, there's multiple things you can do it, but this is one of the easiest way uh, we can perform incremental load. So for now, I'm going to run this quickly. Okay, this completed. Successfully, this merge happened. Again, we are merging from the bronze with the latest change that we see as a change data capture. There's 4 record was there. Basically, 2 inserted and 2 updated. So 2 insert was happened after this with those latest change. And those two should be merged, records should be merged into the silver table. So this was completed. Now let's take a look at the data actually. Select star from the silver. If I run this select star from the silver, I should be seeing 23 previously, 2 more, which is 25. This is what the incremental load is. We're not loading all the 100 record that I have in bronze table. We are loading only from the latest change in the bronze. So that was about incremental load and change data capture and incremental load. We can also see the data history on silver label right here. We created a table and we perform the merge right here. There is two thing happen. This is what the history tell us. And yeah, we can do some other thing like this, as well as not only we're inserting 2 record from the SQL. What we can do is we can upload a new file, like another day file or a month file right here, right? And perform our run our notebook, incremental load and CDC notebook. So it will work just that fine. So in this video, what we talked was we talked about incremental load and change data capture. So we capture the change data in bronze level, and and then we have loaded those change data only as a part of incremental load in silver level. That is what we saw this. I think this is all I want to cover for now. We will be going to move to the next video, and next session is another important session, and we are going to cover the performance and cost. We should I think I don't have much demo on that, but we will be covering through most important concept about the cost perspective and performance perspective for Databricks development. Okay, see you there, and bye for now.